And I will introduce the festival that this event is a part of, and then I will introduce our performers. So my name is Twinkle. I'm part of the Perversité team, and we would like to welcome everyone and acknowledge that Perversité is taking place on unceded indigenous lands. So the festival is mostly being held in the Kanien'kehá:ka Nation. We recognize the Kanien'kehá:ka Nation as the custodians of the lands and waters that we call Montreal today, also known as Tiohtià:ke. As we aim to dismantle cis heteropatriarchy, white supremacy, ableism, ageism, capitalism, and imperialism, we must remember that ongoing colonialism is inherently tied into these. The land, as well as these platforms on which these efforts are being made, are and continue to be colonized. We emphasize our solidarity with the Kanien'kehá:ka Nation, as well as all indigenous peoples worldwide. Perversité is a collaboratively organized radical, queer, trans, and non-binary summer festival in a climate where the gay corporate agenda and the homogenization of queer trans cultures prevail. Perversité intends to revive the radical foundations of the 2S LGBTQIA+ Pride movement. This year aims to focus on BIPOC-led events, as Black, Indigenous people of color have been historically excluded from the community despite being major actors in queer and anti-capitalist movements. And now to introduce tonight's performers reading from their new experimental play. Shannon Wong Lerner is a biracial Chinese-Jewish queer gay scholar, performance artist, and vocalist who recently came out. She has worked and published with Luce Irigaray in the UK and Paris, the only thinker to have created a complete philosophy of love to help her cultivate her scholarly, social, and artistic vision, focused on self-love and communal love. Shannon received her doctorate from University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, where she studied and wrote about performance art, opera, divas, and musicology. Her newest published work with Oxford University Press and Routledge focuses on the ways in which queer, Black, Indigenous divas and people of color navigate performance spaces with their embodied practices, breath, sense of authenticity, and enhanced voice using audio technologies. Shannon has 3 social media projects and podcasts that include Queer BIPOC Voices, Queer Home Meditation, Ephemeral Voice Matters, and The Intersection Diverse Folks Converse. Mirah V. Lucas is a poet and actor. They identify as non-binary and as a Filipinx American of indigenous origin. Their writing and photography have been published in national and international journals, and they have received fellowships and grants through the James Irvine Foundation and the Djerassi Resident Artists Program. Mirah's poetry tends to focus on everyday moments that can easily be overlooked. Currently, they are working on a larger sense project that involves uncovering their indigenous roots and awakening the healers in all of us that we tend to forget about in Western societies. Tonight, Mirah and Shannon are reading their new experimental play, I Feel Bad That You Felt Bad, You Felt Bad That I Feel Bad, where 2 cute Asian Pacific Islander queers enter a time warp brought about by a pandemic. Part theater, part performance art, they share a reading and rehearsal, mirroring their lives together while in quarantine. This play reflects how they gave into the ecstasy of new love while trying to maintain their equilibrium as individuals. And now I will turn it over to them.
Hello. Hi. Act 1, Time Warp. Scene, the bed.
My head was on our pillow, and then now I looked and you're not here.
Can I have my own pillow?
No,
Why not?
we share everything in this house.
Wait a minute. Everything?
Yes.
What about thoughts?
Yes,
Dreams?
especially dreams. You know, when I met you, I felt like you were already in my head.
What about here?
Yes, here too.
Your heart's beating so fast.
It's because yours is too.
Really?
Yeah, check.
You're right.
I can smell waffles.
I don't smell it.
Come over here.
I'm right next to you.
I know, but you're not here.
You're right, I do smell it.
Come closer.
They're sweet, like fresh waffle cones at the ice cream parlor we like.
I know.
What? What's wrong?
I'm sad.
I can see that, but what can I do to make it better?
Make me waffles?
Seems easy enough.
Yeah, but they have to be the waffles that we smelled from 5 minutes ago.
That's impossible.
Is it? You said that you wanted me to stop going back in time.
I want you to be present with me.
I am.
No, you're not. You're talking about waffles from 1 hour ago that I couldn't even smell, and neither of us actually saw them.
Yeah, but we know they exist.
Do we?
Yes, I smelled them and I craved them.
We're all animals. Anyone who says different or better is really just kidding themselves.
True.
So it's good you know that, so we can move on from this silly craving.
But I want waffles.
How about toast?
No.
I'll put butter and honey walnut butter on it like you like.
No, waffles.
I feel like you're not really being with me.
Well, I feel like you're not really being with me.
I'm just tired. This happens whether you're here or not. Don't take it personal.
Yeah, but I am here.
I know. Sorry. I don't know why I always say such stupid things.
It's because we belong together.
It's so weird that you're here.
Like, good weird?
Yeah, it's like I was here, stuck here, in a world all my own, and then all of a sudden, you're here.
Well, I like that you at least appreciate me.
Of course I appreciate you. I really like you.
Well, I really like you too.
Only like.
Well, of course it's more, but we haven't gotten that far in the play yet.
When will we get there?
I always tell you, you have to be patient.
I'm not patient.
I know, but I really need to keep my feet on the ground. I mean, people are always falling in love by default, and they think their emotion of their head is separate from their hearts, but it doesn't have to be that way.
Sounds too pragmatic.
It's responsible.
I think when people fall in love, you'll always be in love with them, or else you never really loved them in the first place.
That sounds too poetic or ideal.
It's romantic. I want all of you.
You can have me, but let's wait until the end of the play.
Okay, if I must.
It's like your house. It's all that exists. And you and I and Luna and Blue Bear, it's like we're the only ones that exist.
I know.
But is that a good thing?
Sure.
You say that like it's an accident. It's
fate.
Hold my hand.
Why?
Just do it.
Why?
I want you to take you to the kitchen to make waffles.
You haven't even asked if I want or even like waffles.
I'm sorry. You're right.
I feel like you don't really ask me what I want before you do things, or if you do, it's while you're doing it.
You're right. I'm sorry. So, what can I do to make that better?
Hold me.
Okay. I'll never let you go.
Is it time?
Yes, it's time.
I love you. Act 2. The malaise. Scene, the couch. Shannon and Mirah wake up from a nap.
You know, you're biting again.
What do you mean?
You're chopping your teeth when you sleep, and you're opening your eyes just a little bit, just so I can see the whites.
You're screaming again.
I know, but I didn't know that.
I think this act is going to be different than the others.
Yeah, I sense that.
Maybe you should wait until something actually happens before we start writing about it. Or maybe if you write about it, and it's bad, it might actually happen.
It's not going to be bad. I mean, we already came down from the clouds and landed all right, and there was no injuries or broken bones.
But it was good to be flying so high for a while.
Look at what's happened to me. I can't believe it myself. Suddenly I am on top of the world. It should have been somebody else. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I would feel so free. Flying away, a wing and a prayer. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just me. This is too good to be true. Look at me, falling for you.
You like that show too much.
I don't like it that much. Okay, maybe I really do like that show.
You're obsessed. I know we were like the great American hero, wild and free from time and space and convention, but we had to get grounded at some point.
Yeah, but what about now?
What do you mean? Like, because the quarantine is ending?
Yeah, how do you feel?
I feel okay.
Okay, can you be more specific?
I'm good. I'm fine.
Okay. Why don't we just go to the next scene then?
Where's that?
It's not here.
Why are we never here? Never present, I mean.
It's a struggle for me, you know.
I know, it's a struggle for me too.
I think it's why for the first act we were in that time warp. And then the third act, we'll have to deal with seeing each other without that new person haze. And to make sure we are still being who we were before we met.
But what about now? Why can't I get up off this couch?
I think you should get up because we're changing and we're growing.
What do you mean?
It's hard to say we're trapped here because even though I feel that, I feel like we're changing since we've been together.
Huh?
Like deeply changing and experiencing something. Don't you feel that? Oh, I see.
I mean, we just got together.
I thought we've been together for years.
What are you talking about?
I mean, that's how I feel.
You're the one who wouldn't say I love you.
I know, but I was ready to last weekend.
Well, I'm not going to say it first.
Wow. Okay.
Anyway, I feel tired.
Me too.
Let's just watch our show.
Okay. Mirah and Shannon both go to the couch where the TV is. They watch the TV for hours. Time passes by sped up, but the audience doesn't, but the audience knows it's been hours, maybe days, and maybe weeks. The soft glow of the television reflects off of their faces. They sleep cuddled up in front of the television. They wake up, food appears, they eat, they have sex.
The scene cuts to one of them not being there for a moment, then the other not being there. They don't look at each other barely at all, only when intimate. They have their faces staring straight ahead, but they may hold hands, cross legs over one another, sit head to feet, or side by side. Shannon falls asleep. Mirah nudges her to wake up. It's over.
What? Us?
No, the show.
Already? How long were we watching that?
A long time.
It's like I couldn't look away from it. I mean, I wanted to, but I just couldn't.
Me neither.
Like I was in this trance all over again.
Yeah, me too.
When are we going to really see each other?
The next act?
I feel like that's getting closer for me.
What is?
Saying I love you. Mirah walks away. Now you're not going to want to say it anymore, huh? Like the moment's passed. Hello? Hello?
Oh, sorry, I just went to the kitchen to get some chips.
So this is the part of the play where you just space out and zone out?
Well, we had the fire, the bliss of the first act, the thud of the grounding of the second, and now we have the freeze of the sludge slowing us down. We need the malaise and rest after walking through the fire and crashing down to earth, like the Sandra Bullock movie.
Okay, yeah, but we survived.
Yeah, we survived.
But when are we going to thrive?
This isn't a factory.
Get to work.
Mirah laughs as they walk away. Act 3. Same but not the same. Scene, the bed, again.
I had a dream we were in the future talking about the past.
So we were talking about the present.
But no, well, we were in a 50s diner. So maybe we were in the past that was actually in the future, but we were talking about the present.
That's confusing. There are 50 diners now, you know.
Yeah, but this was back in that time.
Do you believe in time travel?
I think we do it every day we're in this house.
How?
Feelings make people remember things and people they've buried.
And also predict things they have yet to know or experience.
So why ever leave?
Because I'm getting antsy in here.
Cabin fever?
Yeah.
But if we have a whole world in history and our future here, then why ever leave?
I need my space.
Oh. I didn't know that. Well, maybe I should leave then.
Can't you stay a little bit longer?
It is 3 a.m. I didn't expect to be leaving right now. That is, unless you wanted me to? Oh. You know, I thought that we were getting closer, but I'm starting to get it now.
I need my space to decompress, to be in my own world.
Oh, but that's just like with me in the other room? Or is it me not here?
You not here.
Oh.
Your heart is beating so slow.
I think it's because yours is too. Now, we're separated by space and time.
I can finally use the space and time to stretch out a bit more and allow for my own flow.
It's going to ruin everything we've built.
It's going to reinforce everything I've built.
When I go back, I'm afraid I'll be distant.
When she comes back, I know we'll be closer.
I feel distant.
I feel closer. I
I
need
need balance.
I think if we stop living in the past and just live, we'll be okay. I don't want to be sad anymore.
Me either.
I
I don't want to cry anymore. Let's just do this one kiss at a time.
Is this where I barf?
I can't wait,
I can wait.
but I don't know who I am yet.
I know who I am now.
I'm a powerhouse put into this cute package.
I am a man put into this cute package.
I don't see how I can fit into any of this.
What do you mean?
I mean, we have a conflict. You end up inside yourself, and there's no room for me.
But how do you live your life?
In relation,
On my own.
this time warp has ended.
I don't understand what's going on.
Projection is over. Same is over. Now love begins. Shannon leaves the frame.
Mirah's left alone on the stage.
That is the end.
That's all. So, is there like a Q&A?
Yeah, I think Twinkle's going to come back on.
Okay.
That was fantastic. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. I'm gonna cancel your spotlight video maybe. Well, but then should I stop recording?
Oh no, I'd like the Q&A on there, if that's okay.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, we'll keep you spotlighted then. Thank you so much. That was really fantastic.
Thank you.
Let me bring up the participants list. So the way that I suggested that we do the Q&A is if people want to ask a question, you can message me in the chat what the question is if you don't want to ask it yourself, or if you do want to ask it, if you don't mind going on camera or at least unmuting yourself, then I can facilitate that as well. And then I realized after I read the intro that I forgot to mention that you are in Sacramento, California, and so that's on Nishinan, Miwok, and Putwin territory. I hope I got those pronunciations right.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sorry I didn't mention that at the beginning. So does anyone have any questions?
No questions.
I thought it was really fantastic. I wonder if you could say like how true to life this was for you, and also like what was the genesis of actually like making it into a play?
Well, all the lines were actually said.
Wow.
Yeah. And then Shannon's brain just put it all together pretty much, because that's just how her brain works. Yeah, and then we talked it over a bit and kind of organized the lines into a more, I guess, less confusing, even though it probably is confusing still a little bit to people who aren't in the relationship, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I wrote most of it when Mirah and I were first together, and so we're actually in their apartment right now in the bedroom, and so this is like the backdrop. And when we were first together, I just felt like there was so much energy, and I had so much energy, so I would just sneak away and write it. No, I'd like be in the apartment, but I just go into the other room. Okay. Or if Mirah was asleep, I just start writing it. And so
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. When did you find out, Mirah?
I think she was like, I have this play. You want to read it? It's our relationship. Like, oh, okay. I don't know. Sure. Because I'm an actor, so it's interested, I guess. It was surreal. I mean, it is still surreal. I'm a very private person, so I don't talk about this stuff. And so performing for all of you is kind of odd, but fun and interesting and a lot of feelings.
And then I come from a performance art background, and I do a lot of social media where I'm talking about my life. And so,
yeah, we're very opposites like that, because she's like inside out, and I'm like outside in. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's where we came up with that kind of mirroring. The I feel bad, you felt bad, you felt bad that I feel bad, because we were very similar but very opposite.
But we actually said that line. We were trying to figure something out, because we would have these circular conversations that were kind of confusing.
Yeah, and I don't know if this would have happened if there wasn't a pandemic. I think
we talked about that.
Yeah, it's just really odd.
Yeah, I feel like being in the pandemic and then being in this smallish apartment together and not being able to go out, and then especially I think the added thing of being Asian Pacific Islander and feeling like, there are things happening to us right now out there, makes us doubly not want to be out there. And so the combination of being together and having this be new, and then being artists and having creative minds, and then being in a smaller place kind of culminated I don't know, created the right atmosphere for the play to come out.
Magic.
The I don't know, cultivated. I think of a greenhouse and plants growing. I'm just saying what I think.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions? I can't see everyone, so if you're raising your hand, I don't know. If you're raising your real hand, I don't know. But if you want to digitally raise a hand or write something in the chat, feel free. I wonder what's the timeline? Like, when did you meet? When did you start writing the play, Shannon? When did you, like, do you know, like, dates as far as, like, when was it revealed?
Was it revealed? Did we write the third?
It was like 2 acts, and then it kind of just didn't make sense. And then I think we threw out ideas for the 3rd act.
And Mirah's, you know, Mirah's a poet and writer too, so I feel like there was a lot of input with that, because originally the 2nd act was the 3rd act.
Oh yeah.
But then that's kind of depressing. So that happens in relationships where malaise happens. You get comfortable and then you just like can't get up or something. And then I also feel with the pandemic, people are having that happen already. They just like sit somewhere and they can't get up. But mixed with the relationship too is an interesting. But then Mirah had said that's better for the middle than for the end. And then the ending how we did with the mirror, the same but not the same, seemed like a good way to end.
Yeah, and I think with the pandemic, it's like, is it over? Is it not over? It's that kind of uncertainty. So I think the malaise in the middle, because it just creates more confusion, which I like the confusing parts of the play, because that's how it feels being in the pandemic, being cooped up in this house. Yeah. And it's like every day's the same, but different. In a new relationship, it just really puts a twist on it.
Yeah, well said.
So we have a question from the audience. Kimura asks, is your relationship interracial, and is this your first same-sex relationship?
You want to go first? Interracial, I would. Yeah. Well, I think by default it is, because Shannon is too biracial.
I mean, what I meant is there your first interracial relationship experience, or did you date only Caucasian, and then is it the first time that you are, even though you mixed blood, I guess, right? Is it your first? I mean, it's two questions. It's first same-sex relationship. And second is or same time. First interracial for each of us of you.
I think I don't know how to answer that. No, it hasn't been my first, but it's yeah, it's kind of I guess it's my first long term, because we met February 15th, so it's almost 6 months. And so yeah, it's my first long term. Same
sex, or
yeah, I guess so. I mean, I haven't really always identified as cisgender, so that puts a spin on things, because I don't identify as a woman, so it by default then we're not a same-sex couple, right?
Or queer, I guess.
Queer relationship.
Yeah.
For me, it's not. I've only had queer relationships. Yeah. And then what was the other one? Interracial. I was married once to a Caucasian woman.
Yeah, and I've had interracial, I guess, if we're calling it interracial.
I guess.
Yeah, I've had that before.
And did you write about the other relationship you had before, or is it because you are enfermé? Comment est-ce qu'on dit enfermé? Not in the closet, but you are locked in.
Oh, in the closet.
Locked in the because of the COVID, you cannot go as you want. So it's because of that you wrote that piece, or you usually write about your relationship or whatever fantasy about.
Written, I guess, one other short story about other relationships before in the past. But this is, and I did write an operetta that was based on Irigaray's philosophy, but that was very, very kind of mythic. And it wasn't about anything, any relationships. It was just about kind of the burden of being a woman and this mythic character called Smother, who was the creator of all humankind and was given that obligation, not of her consent. So that's what that was about. But I would say this is like the first performance, like the first thing I've actually been in. I feel like that's a big difference is when you write a short story and it's just sort of out there as compared to actually putting your body in something and having the dialogue be from your real life is very different. So this is my first experience doing that for sure.
Yeah, I've never collaborated with anybody before that I had dated. Yeah, it is really special, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I would say this is my first collaboration with someone that I've been in a relationship with too. So it's special. That was the point.
Yeah. I know.
Thank you for those questions.
Thank you. There are other ones? Are we monitoring it?
I think Twinkle's coming back on.
Ro has two questions. So will you continue writing the storyline?
Yeah, it was interesting because Mirah said, you know, some of this I wrote very quickly, but it was like spinning in my mind like for a while, and then it just like all came out. And then I didn't really, I'm like a chronic rewriter, so I write academically too. And if people could see like how I started and what I end up with, it's just like, why do you do this? Because I probably write like 200 drafts. And so the fact that I didn't really rewrite this a lot, I just kind of kept it intact and how I felt, and it all kind of aligned as I was writing is pretty miraculous. But then Mirah had said something interesting because they'd said that, you know, this really is like the skeleton. It's like the bare bones to something else. And so I think that definitely like it could evolve, I think, into something maybe a little longer, or there could be something new that happens, I think, especially because we don't have the blocking. We were trying to work that out and it was just not enough space or time to do that before this. And we thought it would keep the integrity more so to do it as a reading than to try to like haphazardly do the blocking here.
Yeah, we were trying to do like really elaborate scene changes and wardrobe changes and props, but we weren't comfortable yet to reach that stage at this point. We wanted, like to have the integrity of the play shine through versus all just the commotion of action.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's also kind of interesting as a reading for people to get an idea of like what would they be doing? You know, you hear the words, especially with the last act where there is this mirroring happening. Originally we were going to read that at the same time, but it was better in theory.
It was confusing. Yeah.
It's better because you wouldn't hear what either of us were saying. So we had those lines that were similar, and then we tried it as a dialogue. It's like, oh, that actually works. So that's what we ended up doing.
Yeah. What was the question?
I think we answered it. Bro, did we answer it?
I think everybody's muted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think you did. I think that's great. So Ro had a second question. What did you edit out of the play?
Oh, I really didn't do a lot of editing, which is amazing. There was one part that was like 4 lines, but it didn't make sense, where it was like.
That was like another separate, that's like.
But it was so short.
It's going to be a sequel, I
Maybe,
think.
yeah. Where it was like, had to do with us watching each other, or when we were asleep, like what would it mean if I watched you? What would it mean if you watched me? But it wasn't formed yet quite. And then it had to do with.
Fit too much.
Yeah. It had to do with like gender queerness, but it didn't make sense yet. I feel like that if we do include that, needs to be worked out more.
Yeah, the whole thing was pretty much put together we just kind of reorganized the lines and some parts of it in the way it is right now.
And then something's, you know, a play is meant to be read and acted out, not just like read on paper. So once you put your body in something and your voice to something and you're actually in it, then it starts changing.
Yeah.
Especially so I had these really long parts where Mirah was like, no, it was like, such as that, you know, there was
like her academic writing a bit. So I had to change it to what any regular person would say.
Even if it was surreal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be, I don't know.
But it was a little hard.
It was hard. It didn't like, it didn't roll off the tongue. So it was hard to say. Yeah. Because it wouldn't be something I'd say. It's maybe something that you'd say.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Ro.
Thanks, Ro.
That's great. Does anyone have any questions? Any other questions?
I think those are all the questions they asked. Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, thank you so much for the support and, you know, just letting us kind of discuss and explain. It helps us for the next stages for sure. And especially because this was our first collaboration, we were able, thank you so much to Perversite to just accepting us into the festival and supporting us, because I think we'd said before, we'd actually had this accepted to a different venue, but then the situation wasn't conducive for our getting back to academic life. It seemed like it was going to be queer friendly, then it ended up being not queer friendly, and they wouldn't introduce us that way or make the space that way. So
yeah, they wanted to censor us because we were queer. It was
really
not
strange.
It was not cool.
So we canceled that, and that was kind of hurtful, just because I knew some of those people. It was strange. And so when we saw this post come up, we were just so happy that we might have another opportunity with people that were more accepting and supportive, and just let it, you know, grow into something.
Yeah, it's actually the perfect venue because it's like BIPOC, queer, trans friendly.
Yeah, everything it's like wanted.
Everything and all that we are. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you both so much. Yeah, what a beautiful reading, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here.
We'll keep you posted.
Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording now. Do you want to say anything else?
I don't think so. I think people are saying stuff. Oh, they're just saying thank you. Vi said thank you. Priya said thank you. Thank you, Priya. Priya's also been a very supportive person in my coming out. Yoga.
Are you thinking to do a web series or like develop as a Netflix stuff or like a web series?
Well,
maybe.
You just planted that seed.
Because I think it's possible to make. It's not. I mean, you have a lot of now more like about Black being more represented and self-representing. And I was wondering, because of Asianness, we are a bit off of the scene because we are considered as white, not enough people of color. So I was wondering if you would explore that as a South Asian also person being.
I mean,
If you, it could be something interesting, because for me, I feel people that I know missed a lot of that kind of representation. And I think now with Netflix and maybe other venue, you have maybe more chance to plug in.
No, I would love it. I mean, I feel like, I think it's why I wrote it and why I thought of us to actually do it, because, you know, I don't know if we had a conversation about like parts you had played that you really...
Yeah, I used to act like 10 years ago, like I was trying to be in the studio system in America, but I was told to repackage myself to look more femme, to, you know, play that token role. And I didn't want to be token. So I completely quit acting. And I only recently started acting like last year again, because I felt there was more movement in what was actually happening with queer and people of color roles out there. So yeah, totally. I'd be into creating more.
And it's actually one of the reasons, I don't know if I told you that. I feel like, so we have had these funny communication things, but but it's one of the reasons why I wrote the play, because Mirah had said that. And then I thought, like, I really wanted to create something that was true to Mirah's experience and like represent that. Really?
No.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why I wrote it. Because we had talked one time. I said, "Oh, maybe I can help you write a play that would be your story." And so then I started writing this, and that's what I was trying to do with this.
Because I don't know if you know, in Minneapolis there is a center art intermedia, and they do a lot of queer people of color play and stuff. So I don't know if you can also get a grant because you're from the state.
Yeah.
Jerome grant, or I don't know, I heard something like that. So it's something also you can explore, because maybe getting a residency there to develop your work could be something. I don't know if you've been in Minnesota or...
No, but I actually have a good friend who is a API scholar, queer scholar there. So I bet he would even know about this. He's been there not that long, but he probably would know people there. It's
pretty big there, and they have money.
What was it?
And I mean, they have money, and you don't have to censorship yourself.
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like our situation is very special. It's like with me having just come out, you know, and then I have like recently been questioning my gender and just what it means to be a woman. And I feel like our situation is very special. And so, yeah, when we were rejected that one time, it was like hard because it felt like, you know, maybe this is too special, or maybe this is too different, or that's how it felt to me. But it's great to know that, you know, there's a need for this representation and that people need it. And it like is the opposite of how we felt a few months ago.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many people out there, and so many people are silenced because they feel like they can't speak because they don't see themselves reflected in anything they see in the media. So yeah, it's not good.
Yeah. Or what they see is inaccurate.
Yeah. Right? Or stereotypes, or just like other people's perceptions of what they think a certain identity is.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you to you.
Awesome. Should we end it there?
Yeah, we can end it there. Thank you,
okay.
everybody.
Thank you.